Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone shared, details with the team to share this video and the course outline. So with that, let's get started. So we are running this training both online and offline. Okay, so just in case, just a second, give me a second. Yeah. Yeah. So I usually start the session with the same question. Why do you want to learn SQL and Power BI? So probably you can do this way. You can introduce yourself, your name, and where are you working currently, and what is the experience that you got, and what kind of role you are into. And along with that, why do you want to learn SQL and Power BI? Yeah, online participants, please go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Indrani Sen, and I'm working in Wells Fargo. I'm into reporting work in which I need to require to learn Power BI to excel into the dashboard skills, and for which I need to have SQL knowledge also, which will also help me to enhance in my career and get into better role and opportunities.
Yeah, thank you. Others, please go ahead. Online participants.
Hi, this is Madhura. I'm working in IKEA, range specialist. So I want to learn Power BI and SQL to develop my more career in the future. So that's why I'm learning.
Thanks for that. Others.
My name is Venkateshwar. I am working at Franklin Templeton Investments. Okay, in my day-to-day operations, we use Power BI and SQL so a lot for doing any report or extracting any reports or do some automation. So it will be helpful for me to speed up my skills and it will be hope it will dictate some better opportunities in my future.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, I see a few more. Please go ahead. Yeah, just maybe if you want to introduce yourself. And why do you want to learn SQL? Data analytics purpose. Okay. Yeah, fine. Any other online participant? Okay, fine. So let me introduce about Excelytics. It's been like 11 plus years we have been doing these trainings on data analytics training programs. So right from the Excel, macros, SQL, Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, so many other different tools that we train here. So it's been like 11 plus years, and I trained a good number of students and a very strong network in terms of, the LinkedIn connections. And yeah, and also we offered a good number of Microsoft certifications from here. We are authorized test center for Microsoft. And what we believe is that data analytics is universal. So there is, no industry where, that runs without the data. So data analytics is everywhere. You take any company, any kind of an industry, data is there. As long as data is there, data analytics are there. Okay. So coming to our services, we do offer different training programs and along with the certifications. And coming to the certification programs, like if you're looking for Power BI certification, which is PL300 certification, you just let us know. We'll share, kind of material and the guide with you so that, you all can easily clear the Power BI Data Analyst Associate certification. Okay. Which is PL300 from Microsoft. Okay. So other certifications also there if you are looking for. And we also do a lot of consulting work, like building the dashboards, automations, and things like that. So that's briefly about us. And coming to me, I'm Kishore, and it's been again, a good 17 plus years of experience I got. Yeah, recently I got 17 plus years, but the profile is like little outdated. So, I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, Microsoft certified professional. I'm Deloitte Faculty Excellence certified. I'm PL 300 certified, which is Power BI Data Analyst Associate certified, PL 900 certified, and a couple of other certifications are not there, but I completed them. Yeah, I've got like all the MS Office certifications like Excel expert, Word expert, Access expert, Outlook specialist, PowerPoint specialist. I work with different kind of tools and different kind of languages, automations, RPA tools, and I have working experience in US healthcare, revenue cycle management, IT assets analytics, contact center analytics, and so many things, so many domains I work with. And that's my skill graph. And looking at this, don't think I'm from technical background. I'm BCom MBA finance background. Okay. Currently working with Excelytics, and I'm leading this team here. And prior to that, I was with Quadratics as a senior consultant into data analytics using Power BI. I was with Deloitte earlier as an assistant manager into reporting and analytics. United Health Group as a process automation expert. And so many roles I was into. Yeah. So I'm going to be the trainer for this particular training program. This is both SQL and Power BI. Okay, so we start with SQL first, and then we'll move on to Power BI. There is a reason why we start SQL first, because if you want to create a report, a simple question, if you want to create a report, what is it we need? Data is needed. Perfect. So usually in the small scale, mid scale companies, you see this data in the form of Excel files or CSV files, right? Or a PDF file. But usually in a bigger company, since they have like a lot of data, they will have to use a database. So in order to connect to the database, we need a language, that is SQL language. Okay, the structured query language. So we start our sessions with SQL, and this is going to take about 3 weekends. Okay, as it is a weekend batch, Saturday, Sunday only. We run 9 to 12 or 10 to 1. We are still figuring out the timings, due to the heavy rains and all, we are still figuring out. Okay. So we probably will let you know by tomorrow what should be the time slot. Right. So weekends, Saturday, Sundays, batch number is B00714. That is a batch number. Okay. So any information that is needed for this weekend batch, you can talk to the front office with this number B00714 weekend, SQL and Power BI. So SQL is going to take about 3 weekends. I'll take you through the course outline and how it is going to run. I'll show you all those things. And then Power BI is going to be 4 to 5 weekends. Okay, sometimes it goes to the 5th weekend. Also depends on the questions and the kind of doubts that you get. So it may be extended by 1 day, 2 days here and there. Okay. So that is overall a 7 to 8 weekends plan that we have. That means coming, the 2 months or maybe like 1.5, maybe a 1 month, 3 weeks, or something like that. So you should be, you should make yourself available for this training program. Okay. So initially, once we
Kishore,
start,
one does.
yes. Yeah.
I'm from medical background. Is it
Yeah.
possible to get a job after completing the Power BI certification?
Yes, absolutely fine. That's what I'm trying to tell you, showing my profile. I'm not from technical background at all.
Most companies are asking at least computers and Macs. I don't have any Macs.
Yeah, so that should be okay. A few companies, definitely they ask for a certain degree to be there because guidelines are like that. But most of the companies, it's okay. You can come from any kind of a background. That shouldn't be an issue as long as you have the right skill, right? But only thing is that you need to have some working experience with this tool.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So after this training program, definitely everyone will get good experience. Someone like a 2 to 3 years person, whatsoever the concepts are there. So you should be able to perform those kind of things. So many real-time examples are there. Whatever the challenges that I've personally gone through, I've kept them as part of the material. So things are there. So if you can practice all those exercises and the tests that we give, then yes, you definitely sound like a 2 to 3 years experience guy with Power BI.
Okay. I'll be
Yeah.
able to clear the exam too.
Yes, yes, certain things are there. From the examination standpoint, a few concepts are there, and I'll be mentioning those things during the training itself, like, this is going to come as a question in PL 300 exam. So you just need to make a note of it, okay? Because
Yeah, my main target is to clear that peer certification.
yes, you can do that. Only one thing is that I'll tell you the problem with PL 300 exam, why most of the people they struggle to clear this is because it's not a project-based exam. Okay, it's not a project-based exam, and it is something like uh, multiple choice questions and drag and drop features. Okay, so the challenge
Yeah.
is without looking at the application interface. If the Power BI application is not there in front of you and they ask you a question about so and so feature in so and so tab, what is the job of that? What kind of thing that it does? Without looking at application interface, if you need to answer that, you need to have a lot of experience with the application. Okay, Excel certifications and all kind of comparatively easy because you see Excel interface in your examination. So you will be performing something on Excel itself. That is
Yeah.
easy. But looking at the application, it makes our job easy. But if the application itself is not there, only question is there. That means you need to remember each and everything from the application standpoint, the interface and what kind of features are there, where are they located, what do they do. Without seeing them, you should be able to answer them. That's where most of the students they struggle. But yeah, there is certain material for this, and I'll take you through all that. I'll share that material with you if you are interested for PL 300, and yeah, obviously you can clear the certification. And by the
I
way,
joined because
yeah, go on.
I joined because of that only. PL
Yes.
300.
Yes, you can clear the certification.
Okay. And what is the difference between SQL and MySQL?
Right. Anyways, I'll be taking you through all the technical stuff during the training program. SQL and MySQL, just to quickly answer this, there are, you can say, two variants of SQL language. Something like you have English with US accent and British accent, same thing. I would say SQL and MySQL, they are the two variants of SQL. And we write in a little different way. A simple question like, you UK people, they prefer asking like, do you have a car? Something like this, right? US people, have you got a car? Right? Something like that, okay? So the syntax may change here and there by a bit, but more or less, it's the same. Okay. Someone, I'll tell my own experience with this. Right. When I learned SQL using Oracle. Okay, Oracle. And then when I started working for a client, I worked on MySQL. And now I am delivering the trainings on TSQL. So what I'm trying to tell you is that once you learn any one of the variants of SQL, other variants they look same. It's just that the accent related thing. Okay, so a few keywords may be changing here and there, but most of the content, most of the keywords they remain same. Okay, across all these languages. Okay, Excel, is it covered in this particular training program? No, it is SQL and Power BI. Excel, if you're looking for, you may need to join a different session. I think, yeah, there are upcoming weekend sessions for Excel and weekday sessions too. You just have a word with, the front office team and they will help you out with that. But for now, it is only the SQL and Power BI. Okay. Batch number B00714, both SQL and Power BI. SQL first 3 weekends, and the next 4 to 5 weekends, it's Power BI. That's the plan, right?
So it will be covered in 6 weeks.
Almost like 7 weeks. 3 plus 4 is a plan, but sometimes it may go up to 8th week also. Depends on the kind of questions, especially SQL, I don't see any issue, but Power BI, you may get so many questions because I'll be giving you the project work and you will have to complete that certain task I'll give you. So this would take maybe a 1 day, 2 days extra sometimes. Okay. Right. So why we made, it's a combination of SQL and Power BI. There is a reason. Okay. It's my personal experience also after working with like companies for 4 to 5 years, I've realized if you want to become a data analyst, there are certain skills, very, very commonly expected skills for any data analyst. Okay. The very first thing, Excel. Excel must be there. Most of the people, what they think is that, okay, so Power BI developer role is there, right? So let me directly learn Power BI. Most of the people, they do this mistake. First of all, let me clear that doubt, why we are making it like SQL and Power BI and what are the common skills required. Let's say Power BI jobs in Hyderabad. I just randomly open a few of the things. You will then find out why. Okay, Value Labs, technical lead, Power BI with SQL. You see that? Power BI with SQL, they are asking for SQL. I understand this. But let me see this. Power BI senior developer. What is it we expect? Okay, 15 to 20 lakh package, reasonably okay. And what is it we expect? We expect, okay, someone should be good with Power BI desktop and Power BI service. Two things are there. Power BI desktop and Power BI service are part of our training program. Okay, both of them, Power BI desktop and Power BI service. Service is nothing but that the cloud version of Power BI. So how to manage your reports by, by publishing them and making them available for others to read it from anywhere in the world. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in the Power BI service. Right. So when we see this kind of a title, what is that we think? Everyone thinks like, okay, we need to learn what? Power BI desktop and Power BI service maybe. Right. But if you scroll down, I'm very much sure you see that what is it asking for? Integrate the data from the various sources like SQL Server, Excel. And you also see that develop and manage ETL processes using Power Query, data flows, Azure Data Factory, RLS, and blah, blah, blah. But if you look at this, why are they asking for the strong SQL skills? It is a Power BI developer, right? Why do we need to learn SQL? Understand that for every kind of a report development, I asked this question already. What is needed? We need data. Where is the data? Data is usually stored in a database. That means if you want to interact with the database, you need to learn SQL first, right? You can randomly open anything, okay? Something, what is it? Zealous, right? Power BI developer, right? Why are they asking for SQL Server here? Okay.
These three are based.
Correct. People may be thinking, directly learning Power BI will get me a job. No, there are so many other things also. Quite often, students do this mistake. Like someone suggests, like learning Power BI will get you a job, and what they focus is only on Power BI. But hold on, Power BI alone can't get you a job. First thing, Excel must be there, SQL, and then Power BI. On top of that, if you have Python kind of a programming language or VBA kind of a programming language, that's like an added advantage, right? But these kind of things are very, very commonly expected from a data analyst. Okay.
Instead of Python, if we learn R, do you think it will replace?
No. Python has got different capabilities altogether. So my recommendation, if you really need to invest your time and learn a new language, my recommendation, go with Python at this point. Okay. Right. And also see this Power BI certification. A few companies have started asking for this Power BI PL300 certification. This is Microsoft Data Analyst Associate. Yeah, so you S&P Global Power BI specialist. Okay, you see this. I think if I'm not wrong, the description isn't clearly mentioned here.
So, knowledge of Excel, we can't learn SQL and Power BI.
Okay, without the knowledge of SQL, can't I learn SQL and Power BI? You can still learn, but the problem I'll tell you. In Excel, as it has a very easy interface to understand the things, see the data, okay, and manipulate the data directly or modify the data, writing the formulas and everything, we find it very easy in Excel. Okay. So you just write a formula, you hit enter and you see the result there, right? So that gives you the confidence, okay, we are doing correct or not, right? But when it comes to SQL kind of a thing, first of all, you need to understand the table structure. You cannot directly work with a grid-based style, nothing, but there is no sheet as such in SQL. So that means you need to write a query, okay, execute it to see the result.
Okay.
So that means you don't find it easy to write the queries directly. But Excel kind of an interface, the advantage is as the data is right in front of you, in the next cells, you can directly write whatever you want and you see the result and you can just manipulate and modify the data as per your requirement and get the result. But SQL is not that. So why we recommend to learn Excel first, so that you will understand how the data is stored, what is a table, what is a row, what is a column, how you can fetch the data between the sheets, right? How to summarize the data, how to pivot the data, how to apply conditional formatting. So many concepts are there, right? You find it easy to learn Excel. From there, you can easily imagine the SQL queries. Okay.
It's simple, like, crawling before walk.
Crawling before.
No, same.
Yeah.
Data is stored same as Excel. How
Correct.
can-
Because in Excel also we see the tables, rows and columns. SQL also we see the tables only.
But we can't see on the.
We can't directly see, in the interface itself in
data
SQL.
stored data.
Exactly, in the database. So something like if I want to write a query, I need to open SSMS, which is the client application, SQL Server Management Studio. I'll show you all these things, how to install them, how to use them, how to connect to the server. We'll be performing someone like a server administrator also. Of course, that is not our role, but to practice that, we need to have these applications in our computer, right? So we'll be doing that server administrator job also. I'll connect to the server. Right. You see that it is there in the form of a database, and there may be so many tables inside. Okay. So many tables, views, and things like that. Right. Let's see this. In Excel interface, what happens? All these things, they appear in the form of sheets. So that, I can simply click on the sheet and you can see, and you can apply the filter, you can pivot the data and whatever you want to. But here, you cannot see like that. If you want to get the data out of this table, you need to take a new query. And you need to write the query to first of all see the data. Select star from, a simple query that I'm writing there. Then you will see it, right? What we usually do in Excel, if you want to summarize the data by showing the total salary paid by the job, nothing but the designation, okay? Total salary paid by the designation, if you want to see it. What is it we do in Excel? Once you have this data, you create a pivot table. Simply, right? With a couple of clicks, you can get the summary. But here, what you need to do is that you need to write a SQL query there. You need to get the job and sum of salary as total salary from employee table, group by job. Right. At this point, if you are seeing these kind of queries, you may be like, okay, why are you typing that group by? What is that as alias name? And what is this? So many questions may come. But what I'm trying to tell you is that in Excel, why do you feel it comfortable? Because everything is there right in front of you. With the help of options, you can simply click and get the result like this.
It's a bit advanced version of that because we need to write many things
Hmm.
to get the data which we wanted.
Correct, yeah. So in SQL, as there are so many tables with lot of data, you need to learn a skill. What is that we want, and how do you want to show it also? Showing the entire raw data to the business doesn't make any sense, right? What is that we need to do? As per the business requirement, you need to summarize the data, and what is that, what kind of insight they want to find from the data. That is what you need to share with the business. For that, you need to interact with a database in the form of a language. I'll take you through all these steps, right? My recommendation, someone should have some idea about Excel before getting into SQL. I'll tell you one more reason also. Simple example, a few of you are coming from definitely Excel background, right? Here's the question. You have two sheets. There is a common key, right? There is an employee table. There is a department table. There is a common key, department ID. I want to know, let me show you this directly instead of imagining it. Supporting files, employee table. Right. I want to get the department name here, okay? I want to get the department name using this department ID, looking at this table. Can you do it? Formula, please.
Lookup
Using
or
this
VLOOKUP?
department ID, I want to get this department names here. Online, go ahead, please.
Yeah,
What is-
it's XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP we can use.
Perfect. You can use any kind of a lookup formula to get the answer, right? VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP, depends on the version. If you are using 2021 or Office 365, you have XLOOKUP formula. So otherwise, you can go with the VLOOKUP, right? This is the lookup value. This is the table array, right? Freeze it second column and 0. Okay, here we go. All of their department IDs. You see that because it is 30. What is the department ID 30? Sales. Correct. We are able to get that. Right? See, what I usually say is that, let's say if you're, what do we say? Yeah, you're working on something, and I say that, in Excel, we do a VLOOKUP to do this. The same thing in SQL, we call it a join. Joins are very much similar to the lookup formulas only. Someone who has some idea about a lookup formula, they can easily understand the concept of a join. So this is the reason I recommend someone to have Excel knowledge first. It's not that you can't learn SQL without Excel. But when I talk about, okay, do you know VLOOKUP in Excel? And if you say yes, then it is easy for you to understand what is the join concept in SQL. You're getting the point? That's only the reason. But otherwise, you can learn without Excel also. But if you ask me personally, learn Excel first. Understand the tables. Understand how the tables data can be joined together like this. Okay. You got some idea now? Why Excel? Okay, perfect. Then I'll take you through anyways all these tables and all later. Okay, so I hope you got some idea also about why SQL and Power BI combination. You open any of these things, though it says, you see that? SQL, right? And few companies ask consultant.
So
DAX comes as part of Power BI. Data analysis expressions, you see this. Role is consultant Power BI, asking for Excel VLOOKUP. You're getting it, right? SQL is there. And also you see this technology certifications, PL300. It's in Deloitte. So almost all the job, responsibilities are like this only. I'm just randomly opening one or two here, and you find very much similar kind of, skills that are needed, which are like very common skills. Okay. And packages also, like, they are reasonably good, mentioned there, but you can open any other just to see, just to get some idea how the packages are there. But yeah, most of them, they looks like they didn't mention that. Yeah. I think one of those things we found like somewhere around, yeah, 7 to 12. You see that? They're asking for Excel pivot tables, VLOOKUPs, right? Yes, I think with that, you got some idea why it should be like a mix of SQL and Power BI. And before that, why Excel is also needed. I covered all those points before starting our session. So here we go. Let's start with this, just to get some idea about our data analytics and reporting roles.
Yeah, sorry to disturb you. What is the
Right.
impact of AI on this SQL and data analytics?
Definitely, there is a lot of impact. Okay, earlier we used to struggle a lot to write those DAX functions and SQL queries if it is like a really tricky logic. Okay, but if you can make your AI model understand what is that you're looking for with your prompt, correct prompt, okay, then it can get you that output, right? So earlier, definitely writing the DAX functions and all used to take a lot of time, but now it is kind of very easy, and I'll cover that in our last sessions, how to implement AI in while writing SQL queries and as well as DAX functions in Power BI. A lot of impact because earlier you need to have a lot of expertise to write those complex logics. Okay, now you don't need to have that. Okay, because you can take the help of AI. But there is a challenge as well. I'll tell you. Most of the companies, they don't accept or allow the third-party AI tools in their network. Okay, like ChatGPT, you cannot directly use in your office. There's a lot of security related issues and all open source, right? You cannot upload your company sensitive data onto ChatGPT to analyze it, right? There are things like Copilot from Microsoft. Most of the companies, they accept it, okay? They allow it. So how if you install that 2021 SQL Server Management Studio, that is a Copilot enabled, nothing but if you want to write a query, you can request Copilot, okay? I'm trying to get this. I have these tables. I want to see this data, and it will write a SQL query for you. Not only in SQL, we have the Copilot enabled in MS Office also, but for that you need to have Microsoft 365 admin account. And then, yeah, you can use Copilot in your MS Office also to write any kind of complex Excel formula or any document if you want to create. It's like these days very easy. Anyone tried that Copilot? ChatGPT and all, most of the companies, they don't allow, but Copilot is part of MS Office and other Microsoft products, right? So companies accept it, right? Copilot. Anyone attempted it? Copilot, you right? No? Online participants, anyone attempted Copilot? Working with a Copilot, taking the help from Copilot?
Yeah, we use it.
Okay. So I'd like to show you a simple example here, how the Copilot works.
I mean,
Okay.
AI and losing our jobs. I'm
Mm.
worried about that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, I mean, losing jobs, it will happen eventually, no doubt. No doubt. Right? Let's say earlier let's say a company needed 4 to 5 developers because a lot of complex things to be written by them, right? But they require only one. Because one person just can take the help of AI and solve all those things, right? Only one thing is that if you learn how to make AI work for you, it will create new opportunities for you. It's as simple as that. Forget about working in the traditional way, right? Writing these complex queries, spending hours together. No need actually. If you upload your model and ask what is needed, okay, and then it will get you an answer. Sometimes it may not be an accurate answer, but if you have that little logical thinking, you can tweak that, okay, and you can get whatever you want, right? A simple example I can tell you. Earlier, if you want to type a letter, okay, let's say I want to write a letter. You see this, now you have Copilot enabled, right? Let's say I am Kishore, studying in let me write it in a very easy English, something like need a leave, suffering.
You are from really ZPH.
Yes, I studied all my education in the government school, so
Oh, great man.
never
Great.
issue. Prepare a leave letter. Let's see, I just gave it like, without giving a lot of details. Okay, what it is, you see that? See that? Created. Right? Student of esteemed institute writing, I've been suffering from fever and unable to attend the school. It's Word, yes. It's Word, MS Word. Copilot enabled. You no need to worry about, let's say, I can ask anything. Let's say I can keep this, right? Create.
So is it chargeable or it's free?
No, it's okay. For this, you need to have a Microsoft 365 account. Okay, so there you can ask these kind of questions. Create a document on RBI guidelines to the banks. Okay, here we go. All right, the document is ready. You can do so many things like this. I know you don't need to worry about what is it we say, writing complex queries and complex DAX formulas. You can create all these things with a simple prompt, right? I'll anyway show you how to integrate these things in your SQL and Power BI, especially DAX while writing the DAX, right? Okay, here we go. If you really want to gather this information from our website, this would take some time, right? Yes or no? You don't need to worry about that. It is doing all the job for us. Done. Document ready. Just keep it. Got this? Right. I'm just showing this in Word, just so that you all understand it, because I can also make it work for me to generate those SQL queries and as well as DAX functions. I'll show you that anyways. But if you have Microsoft 365 Copilot enabled, you can actually start asking questions. Okay, you don't need to spend time typing or gathering that information from different websites.
So already using Office 365.
Correct. Yes.
How to enable this?
So Copilot, if in your office, if you are not finding Copilot by default, you need to have a word with your IT team because they intentionally, block it. Not every system is with Copilot, though you're using Microsoft 365. Okay, so you can check with them and they can enable it in the background. Yeah. Okay.
And this Copilot, we can only use in Word or Excel also?
Everywhere. See, in your Windows also Copilot is enabled. You see that? If you observe, that is the Copilot icon. Okay, this one.
Okay, this one.
It's there by default. You just observe that it's there on your taskbar.
Which one, sir?
This icon.
Color. Next to the things.
Try that. You can do so many things. Okay. Yeah. To shortly answer that question, like AI, will it, remove the jobs? I mean, of course, yes, it is going to happen eventually, no doubt about that. But I would say learn that skill and be ready. Start interacting with these AI tools and to speed up your work, right? So most of the people, they say this, right? AI, it won't remove your job. The person who knows AI will remove your job. So that's how it's going to be in the future, right? Start learning, interacting with the AI tools, right? Giving the right prompts. There are certain things in our SQL and Power BI also we do that, okay? But my recommendation, do not completely depend on AI. See, first of all, you need to have that concept. You should have some understanding about that. And then if you're really getting into a very tricky situation, then take the help of AI. Right? But for everything, if you're depending on AI, then that knowledge is not there with you. It's everything is there with AI only, right? So you need to have that skill first and then start using AI to get additional help. Okay. Right. So I hope that answers your question. And there is no way that we can stop it. Because a simple thing, why companies want to spend a lot of money on the human resource if a machine can do it? People are talking about AI losing jobs and all now, right? Almost like a 3-4 years. It's been like into the mainstream and everyone is talking about that. I was doing the same thing in 2013-14. I was an automation expert with USG, United Health Group. You know what I say? My job is to remove the jobs. That's what I used to do. Sit with the team, understand it, use the RPA tools, and wherever possible, write the programs, right? And completely, we used to follow only one role. When it comes to a process, if automation team is going to sit with them, ultimately, two things, automate it and eliminate it. We don't want to see that process happening manually. That is what we used to do. Like teams, like our 27 associates, I still remember that number. 27 associates. Finally, the team was left with only 4. 23 were like moved here and there. Because just after automation took place, it's just like maintenance part was, was done by these 4. That's it. The rest of the 23 are like, they were moved to different teams. Right. So people now they are talking about losing jobs and all. Companies have been investing money in these technologies. Only one thing is that why it got into the mainstream now is because of the technology availability at an affordable price. Earlier, they are like expensive tools, RPA tools and all, AI tools and all. Only the big companies, they were able to afford and they were implementing them. But now almost every company, even we can implement AI here. You're getting the point? Because everywhere it is available at a cheaper price. You can, buy that license, Microsoft Office license somewhere around an admin account costs around 12,000 per year. We can invest that. And we don't need to invest a lot of time in managing our data and all. I just ask AI and it will create the reports for me. You're getting the point?
$12,000.
No, 12,000 Indian rupees. If you want to get that, whatever the Microsoft 365 enterprise account that I'm using, if you have like, you go for it, 12,000 rupees, and that's it, yearly renewal. And by the way, you can use in 5 machines with that license. You're getting it? So that's the advantage now. Right, as it is available everywhere, everyone is able to afford. That's the reason it's like, everyone is talking more about it, but it has been happening, okay? Almost like what, 2013 and 2025, almost like 12 plus years I was doing this, right? But it is happening at a higher rate now, right? Okay, coming back to our subject, why SQL is needed. So simple thing. Most of us are Excel users. We create a lot of reports using Excel. So it's our reporting layer, okay? Let's say I want to create a report using Excel. What is needed? We need data, but where is the data? Data is there in the database. It could be any kind of database. It could be SQL database, Oracle, Sybase, Teradata, MySQL, DB2. SAP HANA. It could be any kind of a database. But the good thing is that all these databases are relational databases. I'll talk about what is relational database and how the data is stored and all. But for now, understand that the data is there in some database. If you want to create a report using a tool like Excel, what is needed? You need data, and the data is there in the database. So if you want to interact with the database and get the data, you need a language. You need a language. What is that language? SQL, structured query language. And you write a query that hits your DBMS, database management system. That's a server, okay? Server goes to the database and reads the data, and it shows the output, okay, to you again, back into your Excel. So most of you may be using Excel, something like this, you copy paste the data, you type the data, and then you create reports, right? But actually, Excel also has the capabilities to read the data from a database directly. Okay, I just need the database name and the server name. So I have one server in my computer. I'll show you all these things, how to install the server. And I just named my server as KK laptop. And there is one EMP database. I'll write something like this: select star from employee table, consider that as E. Do a left join with the DEPT table, consider that as D. Employee table DEPT ID is equal to department table DEPT ID. And probably at this time, if you see these kind of a query, definitely you get so many questions. Why did you write this? And what is DEPT? What is employee? Don't try to understand that query, but see the output. Right? I just want to load the data to the existing sheet A1. That's it. So you see this, the data is directly coming from a SQL database. And I wrote a SQL query, and I'm able to read from my SQL database. Even if I delete this data, I don't need to worry about it. Why? Because this is not physically entered here. It is directly using a connection and coming from there. And if I click on refresh, that again, the data will come back. Because every time I click on a refresh, it goes with a server request, and the server looks into the database and gets me the updated data here. And using this, I can create any kind of report. I want to see a report showing, each designation, nothing but the job wise, what is the total salary we are paying. Okay. Yeah. You're getting it? Excel, the way we use it is, we try to get some data from somewhere and we copy paste the data and we try to create a report. But actually, you can establish a connection directly with a database like this. You will learn all these things in your Power BI session. Power BI is also kind of Excel kind of a tool only. Okay, but it's like advanced and more powerful. Okay, Power BI, right? So yeah, I would say this is something like Excel with so many visualization features, right? Is together is Power BI kind of an application. Okay, right? You will be learning all these techniques in your Power BI sessions. But what is the thing that I wrote there? That select a star from so and so, that's SQL, structured query language, right? So I'll just do one thing. I'll just take you through the course outline, right? What all we are going to learn as part of SQL. We try to understand what is SQL, what is database, what is RDBMS, right? I understand most of you are coming from non-technical background. Even I came from the same non-technical background. I understand the challenges of getting into the technology, okay, being a non-technical guy. But yeah, there are ways we figured out, you can easily learn SQL. So what is database? What is RDBMS? What is SQL Server? It is Microsoft SQL Server, okay? So what is it? How to install it? It's showing 2017, but we go with 2022 developer edition, the advanced one, okay?
The latest.
Yes, the latest one. And it has got a lot of advanced features and with Copilot enabled, okay? Microsoft SQL Server Studio, SSMS, and how to connect with your server and how to create the databases. Of course, this is not our job, okay? Creating the databases, restoring the databases, dropping the databases is not the job of a data analyst. But we still need to learn this because it's our database server we are going to install in your computer, right? So we need to manage that server. That's the reason we learn that. TSQL, Transact SQL, what is it? Someone asked me like, what is MySQL? What is, something like it's a variant. Similarly, TSQL, Transact SQL is a variant from Microsoft. Okay, it's from Microsoft. And we have different types of languages there. Probably would have heard this like DDL, DML, DQL, DCL, TCL, right? All these things we'll be discussing. Table creations, constraints, primary keys, foreign keys, and different types of keys that we have. And then we have the data types, data manipulation language, insert, update, delete. Again, insert, update, delete is not our job. No, we don't do that. But as part of the training, we learn these things also. But once you get into a job, you don't get any opportunity to work with the DMLs. Okay, we are not the ones who are supposed to change the data. No. Okay, we can't manipulate the data. That's not recommended. Even though you have access to it, we say no, because data analyst job is to extract the data, report the data.
But what if it is the requirement of the business?
Requirement of the business. Okay, so it should be there in your roles and responsibilities too, that you need to work with this insert, update, delete. It must be there in your responsibility. Right, why I'm telling it clearly, there are like multiple instances in my real time. It happened with me. A simple thing. We got a request from a senior manager about their team. We ran a report, and that report showing one number, it's like way too high, and that's impossible. That a number, let's say a number should be within the limit of 5 to 10, but that day it's showing 50. I'm just giving an example. And that's impossible that a number can go beyond 10, but that number on the report showing 50. And it's a very standard report. Every day, our reporting server takes care of, we schedule the job and it takes care of sending out that email and all. Whatever is there in the database, it just picks the data and runs it and sends it out as an email to the manager. That's it. That is the job. We scheduled it already. And when that manager looked at that number, definitely, everyone gets a doubt, right? How come this can be a 50? It's impossible. Then that manager wrote back an email saying that, okay, looks like the report has some issue. So obviously they doubt the report, not the data actually, right? So we got that email and we just started investigating that issue, and we found that in the database itself, due to a technical glitch, the number was incorrectly stored, right? And then we responded back saying that, okay, so whatever is there in the data, our report is showing the same number. Then this is what the number is there in the data and all. And we took the screenshot of the database and that database table, and we sent it back. And we got a request. Can you just fix that issue in the database? And it's supposed to be like only 5, not 50. Please, can you fix that? We have a read and write access to the database. It's very easy for us. Like, we say what update table, update transactions table, set the transaction value to 5, where the transaction ID is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. If I do that, what happens there is it goes ahead and it just modifies that number. That's it. That's as simple as that. Okay. But our response to that senior manager is a no. Why? Because you are requesting this thing to our wrong team. Though we have the read and write access, we are not supposed to do that. I'll tell you why. You may correct one value there, but there are so many things, and as part of the database, to maintain the integrity of the data, right? If you correct in one place, you don't know what all other tables are affected because of this change. Because I am coming from the reporting background, I look at only one, that one table, but the one who actually developed the database, they know it clearly. If I do the modification here, what all other places it will be affected, right? So I cannot take that risk, right? And that manager responded back saying, okay, can you control this at the report level? Report level is also there in our hand, if you want to control that. But again, our response is a no. You are from the reporting team, right? If a business requirement is coming to modify a number, and the one who is actually managing the team is requesting that number to be, controlled in your report level, why are you saying no? I'll tell you one more problem. If you are fixing these kind of things, it's a daily report, and you write an exemption. What is that? If the transaction ID looks to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then change the value to 5 and create a report. Fine, then perfect. But using the same data, there are weekly reports running, quarterly reports running, annual reports running, monthly reports running. Every now and then we do different kind of reports. That means this exemption needs to take place in every report. Let's say 10 reports are there. You need to write this, condition in every report. Yes or no? That will create a lot of maintenance activity. You're getting it? So, you should somehow learn how to say no.
But what if, see, for example, on a daily basis, the target, the number goes from 5 to 10, right? And suddenly it goes to 50, that means there is some issue, right?
Some technical issue.
Technical issue. Then that means someone has to fix that issue.
Correct. Yeah, someone has to fix that issue.
So
Correct.
if you are not the person, then there will be a team who will work on that issue and fix it. So you are saying, instead of you, they can email to the team who are actually working on that, and then it will be okay.
Right. Two things we usually do if you are running into this kind of a situation. One thing, definitely we say no, but we suggest the right team email address there saying, okay, we are copying this team, and so that, please coordinate with them and get this issue fixed. As soon as we get an update from you, we rerun the report and we share this one with you. The other thing, instead of, troubling that senior manager, you can take a step ahead and, okay, let me pass it on to the right team. I'll handle it from here. And once the issue is fixed, then we'll run the report and we'll share it with you. It depends on the kind of relationship that you have with the team, right? But you have every right to say no to do the data manipulations because you are from data analysis team, right? Not a DB administrator or something, because you never know what kind of other things will be affected because of one change that you are doing here. Though we discuss all these points, why I'm saying all these points upfront, because after learning these things, you may be thinking, okay, let me go ahead and change the values, couple of things here and there in your production database.
It can impact huge.
You never know what kind of issues it can create. So please be careful. Even after learning this, don't try to implement this even if you have access to it. Okay. Done. Yeah. Here our job starts. DQL, data query language. Okay. So this is where we do a lot of work. We need to write select statements. We're having group by is now, so many things are there. All these things are to do the data retrieval and find out what's happening, write the built-in functions, aggregate functions, statistical mathematical functions to get the insights from the data. And while getting the data from multiple tables, you need to understand the concept of a join, how to join the tables. Different types of joins are there. And the interesting thing is that all the join syntaxes, they look same. Okay, just the join type will change. Okay, when to use a left join, when to use a right join. Set operators like union, all, intersect, except, subqueries, especially this is also very, very interesting to speed up the querying. Views, a virtual table, how to work with that. Security, okay, security and the transaction management, again, it's not our job. Either this is managed by your server administrators or DB administrators, we don't do that. But as part of the training program, we understand that what are the kind of security roles are there, who is an admin, who is a viewer, different things are there, who is a DB owner, right? And finally, transaction management. In this, we try to understand what is begin transaction, rollback transaction, commit the transaction, right? Different things are there. Along with these things, we also cover stored procedures, common table expressions, and window functions. They are not mentioned in this training outline, but we cover these things also. These days, a few companies are asking for how to create a stored procedure, what is the advantage of it, right? And what kind of stored procedures can be created, and common table expressions, why to use it, when to use it, and what kind of, again, benefits that you get using a CTE. Window functions, right? How to create the window functions and things like that, right? So all those things are covered there. So this is going to take almost like 3 weekends. Okay. And then,
So
yeah.
This is only the beginner level or beginner to advanced it is, whatever the course.
This one? Okay. So this one has everything, like almost like all the advanced concepts also covered. Okay. But we are limiting ourselves to only the data extraction here. Right. There are so many other queries also. Something like I told you, right? DML, DCL, controlling language. We have other things also as part of SQL, but we no need to focus on them. I'll tell you why. Let's say DCL, data control language. There we have revoke access, grant access, and all. As a reporting analyst or a data analyst, you don't create the users. You don't grant permissions to the users. Okay. There is a separate team for this. The problem with SQL is most of the places I see this, when someone says that it's SQL training. They cover everything, everything. You may get an idea like, if everything is covered, it is good for us, right? Actually, I can learn so many things. Okay, I'll tell you one thing. You want to drive a car, okay? You want to drive a car, and then what is that skill that you need to learn? Driving skill, right? So does it mean like if you want to drive a car, do you need to know how to fix the engine issues? No. Battery issues? No, right? Gearbox or a steering control issues or something? No, right? So the primary skill for a driver is driving. But knowing how to fix, little bit of troubleshooting, like say, engine is not turning on, then definitely we doubt a few things. What is it? Fuel, is it there? Battery, is it okay? Right? Certain things we check. That is some basic idea is needed on those concepts, but you no need to, learn all those things which is done by a mechanic, right? A professional, right? So that means when you want to become a data analyst, you're like a driver there. The other things like DCL, TCL, those things are done by a professional. That person comes from maybe like a, mechanical engineering or something. Okay, that person knows those things well. Similarly, a DCL, TCL, and these kind of things are done by some other teams, not by us. Our job is only to do the data retrieval, but having some idea. Let's say you are trying to attempt retrieving a data and it says like access denied. Then you have some idea. What is it? You don't have permissions to read the data from the table. Right? Then what is it you need to do? You need to write an email saying that, okay, as per my business requirement, I need to access the data from so-and-so table. So please grant me permission to read the data. To a DB administrator, if you write an email, then they will look at your business, requirement and all. Okay, they will give you the permission. You get the point? So knowing what's happening, a kind of basic troubleshooting is okay, but not everything. There is no point learning everything, right? As I said, if you want to drive a car, you just need to learn the driving skill and a basic troubleshooting skill. Similarly, for a data analyst, mostly into the data querying, and something goes wrong, that basic troubleshooting, that's it. Okay? But even if you learn the other skill, you are not allowed to perform in your office. You can say that I can fix the database issues, but your business won't allow you to do that because there is a dedicated team, who's getting paid to fix those things. But let's say, if you want to give them a suggestion that is like, a better one, then yeah, definitely you can suggest, but you are not allowed to directly do it. Coming to Power BI, again, this is almost, as I said, like 4 weekends training, starting from what is Power BI. Again, it's installation part and everything will be covered, and how to get the data from the different sources. We use different sources with different real-time use cases and issues, okay? We'll cover all of them, how to do the data transformation with the help of Power Query. Probably you would have heard this one. Power Query. Most of the, job descriptions also we found that Power Query, right? And data modeling concepts, how to build the relationships, how to create the robust data models, okay? And also visuals, very, very powerful visuals, custom visuals, so many things are there. Slicing and dicing and DAX language. This is another very, very important concept. You take any Power BI profile, DAX. DAX is there, right? Different kind of DAX functions are there. And finally, how to publish the report. And this is where we talk about Power BI service account, how to create it and how to manage it. So many things are there in the Power BI service. Okay, so we'll be talking about all those things. So this entire program will help you to take raw data from any place and transform that into the meaningful, data, and then load that into Power BI and create very powerful reports. That's what we will be able to do. And after that, publishing them and managing those reports online, and how to grant permission for your other users, right? All these things are covered in this training program. So you can install Power BI into your laptop. It's like very easy process anyways, step by step I'll show you, right? All the installations are covered, right? Absolutely no need to worry if you are, if you don't have any SQL server at this point, I'll show you how to install it. And you no need to worry even if you are coming from the non-technical background, because I'm also from the non-technical background. I understand, things. Yeah.
You guys are going to give the access of all those things, right? Installing everything. Because maybe
Hmm.
8 minutes or something will require.
This SQL server can be installed directly into your computer, and I'll show you the steps. I'll take you through during the training itself. I'll show you from where you can download it, what all things you need to click, and how to configure your server, and all those steps I'll cover in the training program itself. Power BI also. So only one thing is that if anyone using Mac, Apple MacBooks, okay, if you have a Macintosh operating system, then there is a problem. Right? Anyone here in this group with a Mac? Anyone? Online participants? Okay, then it's fine because Power BI is designed only for Windows environment. It's not there for Mac. Okay, so in the differences between Tableau and Power BI, I talk about that. Okay.
One more thing.
Yeah.
You are going to start. Like the classes are done.
So today we kept it like more like an orientation session. So tomorrow onwards our sessions will start, but you will soon get a call from the front office just to check the timings and all. But this is a weekend batch for sure, Saturday, Sunday only. We'll just figure out which one is more suitable for all of you. Like, is it 9 to 12 or 10 to 1? We'll figure out. And then based on that, we'll take a call. Soon after this orientation session, then you will all get a call, for your registration and all. Right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I have a class over there.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, I came here to this only, for the thing, the demo, like how it is working.
Okay, sure. Fine. Thanks.
Yes. Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I heard Power Apps is also good to learn. Yeah, okay, here we go. Power Apps is for the application development. So the PL900 certification that I said that I completed, that is Power Platform. You should understand there is something called Power Platform, okay? That's Power Platform Fundamental Certification PL900. So Power Platform has multiple products like this: Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Pages, and Virtual Bots. Okay, or Power Virtual Agent, something, right? All these tools together, it is a Power Platform from Microsoft. Power Apps, you can learn it. It's a good one because it's a low code, no code technology developed by Microsoft. If you want to develop an application, a mobile application and all, with the help of Power Apps, you can easily create. It's like very easy to do. Okay, so application development. But again, it depends. It depends on your interest. Like if you want to get into the application development and all, go for Power Apps and Power Automate. Visuals and all, Power BI. Okay.
What else subjects we need to learn to become a data analyst?
Okay. To become a data analyst, we have created one program called Analytics Power Pack. This has right from the basics to advanced Excel, SQL for analytics, Power BI, along with Microsoft certification included, and then Microsoft certification on Excel we included, and Python. These days, a few companies have started asking for Python skill also. So we included that, and how to use ChatGPT and AI. These are the skills needed for any kind of a data analyst role. You may be working on finance data, HR data, irrespective of your role. These are the common tools used. Plus the domain knowledge. Let's say if you want to become a HR analyst, you need to have the terminology related to the HR, like how to calculate the attrition rates, compa ratios, and things like that. If you want to get into the financial data analysis, something like IRR calculations or NPV calculations and things like that. But the tools are common. You may work in the finance domain, but the tools are same, like Excel, SQL, Power BI, these tools only, right? Yeah.
Yeah, what is the scope in medical domain?
Oh, medical, when you say medical, is it like a healthcare or what is it?
Yeah, healthcare.
I come from the same healthcare background. US healthcare by any chance?
Yeah, yeah.
You're into medical coding?
Medical coding and medical research.
Okay. I would say in the medical and US healthcare industry, there is a lot of data actually, lot of data, right? The challenge also, I'll tell you, someone who is with a strong knowledge on this medical terminology and all, they are not technically good with these tools. Market is like that, okay? Someone who is like really technically good, they don't know that medical terminology. There is definitely a gap, right? And if someone learns both of them, someone who got that domain knowledge plus the technical knowledge, then very much sure the opportunities are going to be really great for them. It's just that people are not aware how to implement, how to use them, because that skill is not there with them, right? So that's the reason they always struggle with those traditional or old techniques or the tools. But if you can implement these kind of things there, then yes, a lot of opportunities.
So bright future for me.
Sorry?
Just saying bright future for me.
Because this combination, because I mean, probably you just check in your company and whoever is coming from that strong medical background, okay, I'm very much sure they may not be so good with these kind of tools like Power BI or advanced Excel or SQL kind of. So, but someone is able to do both of them, then yeah, definitely they will have an edge, right? Okay, so I have one more question here. BI and SQL is different. Learning now and business analyst is different. Okay, got confused the last question. Okay, so yes, Power BI and SQL are two different things. Power BI is for your reporting and data visualization and dashboarding purpose. We use it. SQL is a language to extract the data, because if you want to create any report, what is needed? You need data. So to extract the data, we use SQL. Business analyst role is little different. Okay, business analyst role, there are different roles again in the business analyst only. Something like a techno-functional business analyst. If you take this kind of a role, then this person is the one gathers the requirement from the business, understands it, and tries, works like a bridge between your technical team and operations team to build the applications and, different kind of things the business analysts, they do. That role is different from the reporting analyst or a data analyst. Business analyst role is different. Okay.
Is there any chance of interacting with the clients in this role?
Data analyst,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. Let's say if you want to create a report request comes from the client only, what they want to see, right? They are not technical experts, but they know that how their operations are running. They ask like, we want to see so and so metric, so and so KPI. When they ask you that, you as a data analyst or a reporting analyst, you need to get inside the database, find out what all data points are available. First of all, whether the data, whatever is, the client is expecting, is it available or not? That is the test that we do. If it is available, then yes, we write the queries and we get that number. We apply the required aggregations on the data and we get the output. So yes, at the time of report development, almost like every day or every maybe alternate day, we will have a call with the client, understand their requirement and show the progress, what's happening. Yes, client interaction will be there for sure. And moreover, all these reports that we are creating for who? Usually for the management. So that means we'll be directly in touch with the management. Yeah. I get one more question here, which is best, which has more scope. Okay, so if you ask me, data analyst is the first point. Business analyst should have the data analyst skill also, but along with that, a lot of business knowledge, the domain knowledge. Okay, that should be the second one. So my recommendation at this point is data analyst. Okay. So I hope you all understood what is that we are going to learn and how many days it is going to take, and the applications will install in your laptop itself. And yeah, I think I asked this question already. No one is using Mac, right? But if you are using Mac, you will have to have a secondary operating system there. Okay. So I'll show you one quick example. Then you will understand more about Power BI capabilities. I want to read the data directly from a web page. Okay. And show you the different visuals. And probably you would have seen this. If you use YouTube, okay, when you open any of the videos, there will be ads, right? Watched? Yeah. What do they say about Power BI, especially? You watched any ad about Power BI? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What do they say? They say that
Learn Power BI in 99 rupees.
99.
yes. And
Learning Power BI
time
in
frame, what
99
they say? The time frame, they say that
2 to 3 years.
2 to 3
1
hours,
to
right?
2 days. Yeah.
1 to 2 days, 2 to 3 hours, right? Excel also, okay. You can create very powerful dashboards in Excel just like in 5 minutes, okay, without any support, and use AI, ChatGPT, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Whenever they say this, okay, learn just Excel in just 2 hours with our master class, right? If Excel can be learned in 2 hours, I always think, if I can learn it in 2 hours, what is that I've been doing from the last 17 years? That is a question I get. Okay. Let me tell you the one thing here. Even I can show you how to create a dashboard in 2 minutes. Okay. Because I know exactly what I'm doing, and the data is well structured, no issues, no challenges with the data. Everything is clean, no errors, right? And I know exactly what is that I need, right? Then creating a dashboard in 2 minutes is possible. But the problem with the real time, most of the people may be thinking the real time data sets are like well formatted and well structured, no errors in the data, everything is like well organized, and you always get the accurate data. You may be assuming this, but that is not true in the real time. This is what I always say. At least in our classroom examples, we create a few dirty data sets, okay, just to practice the different transformations and to get that data into the right shape. Even we have a few examples. But in the real time, every requirement is unique. And in the real time, the most dirtiest data we get. Okay, the worst and the dirtiest. You need to spend at least like 4 to 5 days to fix the data issues only. It's not that easy, right? Yeah, I can take a sample data set from somewhere, and I can also show you a 2 minutes dashboard, okay? But it's real time, the requirement, each and every requirement is unique, each and every data set is unique, and that always comes with its own unique issues. And as a data analyst, you need to fix that, right? Before loading that into your report, right? But something like if I have a data set, a well-structured data set, let me show you like what, 1029 it is, right? I'll just take the data, right? And this is the data, I load it. Yeah, data is being loaded. This is COVID data, by the way, okay? So it is directly reading it from there. Usually it shouldn't take this much time, but I think it is taking some time today. Yeah, syncing the schema, loading the data. It's directly coming from online, okay?
Yeah, who enters data into database?
So this is managed by WHO. Who enters the data in database in the regular operations? The data entry teams. Okay, let's say if you go to a shopping mall, their billing counter is there, right? They are the data entry operators and they enter the data, right? And then someone like a data analyst, they will analyze the data in the background. Okay, WHO data is now there. You see that the advantage here, once you have the data here, I know exactly what I'm doing. So I'll just do a double click there, which prepares the Q&A, question and answer. I want to find out total new cases. Okay. These are the total number of cases. Almost like 778 million cases across the globe. And the total unfortunate deaths there. $7 million unfortunate deaths. And I'll ask total new cases by state. By country, sorry. Okay. And it's coming like a bar chart, right? On a map. I'll ask a question like this. Show me on a map. Okay, here we go. You see that? Like in 2-3 minutes, I can come up with something like this. And if I'm clicking on these things, it will show me the values like this, right? Right? And I can also ask, like, show me a line chart, right? Total new cases by date reported. You see that? There is a line chart created. Right? And I can insert a slicer for the country. I just need only India. I can search for it, or I can directly select here. Yeah, you see that? That's our first wave, second wave, third wave, India. So, when you have a well-structured data, right, no issues there, and you know exactly what you are creating, then it's easy for us. But usually the real-time, requirements are not that simple. You'll have to spend a couple of days to understand the data, itself. You got the point? And probably would have seen these kind of things, why Power BI is so powerful. I'll show you. You can download a few visuals also that are not there as a default visual. You can download something like animated bar chart race. Probably you would have seen these kind of things on Facebook, LinkedIn, and all. I'll show you how this thing works. Right? These things we learn in Power BI. First of all, we spend some time on SQL, okay? Right, let's go with country. Cumulative cases. Okay, country is the name, value is the cumulative cases. Period is the date reported. Now I want to see the top 15 countries. You see that? Have you ever seen these kind of a thing like, okay, initially China was the one reporting the cases, okay? But slowly other countries have started reporting their cases too, right? Ever seen these kind of a bar chart race? Like the UPI payments or the online transactions usage across the globe, like which country is leading, right? And other things like how many World Cups won by the different countries are the gold medals won by the different countries. Right. You see that China was the one initially reporting all the cases, okay? up to it reach that 80,000, but later you see there is a lot of rapid growth in the cases, right? India is nowhere in the picture so far. On LinkedIn or Facebook, by any chance you saw these kind of things? You see America, Spain, Italy, right? Brazil, India is not there still. These are the top 50 in that point in time, okay? Portugal, I think, in the 15th position. Brazil. Right, here we go. The last position, India. Once we, started getting those numbers and they significantly are, very, very quickly increased. It even went to sometime, I think it went to the second position, something. Okay, you can configure this entire chart to run it for the full time, okay? To show all the numbers movement for day by day, okay? But yes, these kind of things, to configure these things hardly takes, it takes only 1 minute, okay? But yes, you no need to actually design these kind of things, right? You can directly download it and use it. Yeah. Yeah, good number of things are there as part of Power BI and SQL we learn. So as I said, it's a combination of both of them, and someone who wants to get into the data analyst role, this is what needed, right? So I'll stop it here. If you have any questions about the outline that I showed you and what is it you're going to learn, please let me know. I'll answer that. And in some time, you will get a call about your registration. And by the way, this video and the course material, everything will be shared, okay, by the front office only. You can check with the front office. I hope all of you have shared your details, are registered on the form. If not, reach out to the front office so that they can share this video and the course outline with you. Yeah. Any questions?
So in finance and HR side,
Hmm.
how this SQL will be helpful?
Okay, finance and HR side, again, the same thing, like even the HR data, finance data, they are also stored in some databases only, right? Then you need to learn how to retrieve the data from there, right? But let's say if your company is using only Excel sheets, right? Every data set is there in Excel only. Then you will learn how to connect to Excel. Excel, I think you already have some idea. Then just connect that Excel file to Power BI and then create the model and the reports. Then you get a question like, my data is not there in SQL, right? Then why do I need to learn SQL? Understand one very important point here. When you want to build the data models, the same SQL skill is needed. There also we talk about what is the primary key, foreign key in the data modeling in Power BI. Okay, there also we need SQL concepts. So that's the reason SQL is needed, whether you read the data directly from SQL or from Excel also. Data modeling concepts, again, they come from SQL only. Yeah.
If my company is using only the Excel, can I directly go for the Power BI instead SQL?
No, I'll tell you why. A few concepts that we explain in SQL are very much needed in Power BI development. Okay, I'll tell you one example here. In SQL, you learn a concept called join. Okay, for that, we need to use primary keys and foreign keys. Okay, that means you need to understand what is a primary key and what is a foreign key, what is a unique key, what kind of key constraints are there on the database tables, and the same kind of constraints are needed to build a powerful data model in Power BI. So that's the reason, even if someone directly coming for Power BI sessions, what we usually do is that a little bit of SQL orientation again will do. But learning a full-fledged SQL will give them a better idea. Okay. Without discussing SQL, we cannot proceed to Power BI. So that's the reason a Power BI session also, I'll cover 2 to 3 days initially. It is a daily session. I'll cover SQL points once again. But learning a full-fledged SQL will give more idea.
So we are covering full page.
Here, it is a full-fledged SQL initially for the 3 weekends. Okay, and then we'll move on to Power BI. Have a question here. So better career opportunity, see it almost like what do we say? In operations, we have opportunities, data analysts, we have opportunities, IT, we have the software development, we have opportunities. But if you're talking about a data, data standpoint, yes, data analysts, they have a good number of opportunities these days. There is a thing that you should understand here. Okay. If you observe the computers and all 1980s, okay, that point when, computers were developed actually, initially, those days, okay. Computers have been, computers, all the businesses started using the computers, but not all, a good number of businesses there. And then slowly, 1980s machines were developed. And then what was needed during that 90s and 2000s? Softwares. If computer is there, software is needed, right? So that's when software developed, right? That 90s and 2000. 2010 and all, okay, computers are there, softwares are there. Now what is needed to store the data? Because data is coming in via applications. So that's the reason, that's where you see data warehousing concepts, ETL developers, right? So many things, Cognos, Informatica, and yeah, the best example is Amirpet boards, okay? Whatever is happening in the world currently, you will see the boards around. If you were there in Amirpet like 20 years ago, everywhere you used to see Informatica, Cognos, all those data warehousing concepts and things like that. But now if you go there, what is that you see? Because you have a lot of data being stored, right? Right? After the storage, cloud computing, cloud-based data warehousing and all that. And now, because a lot of data is there, what is that you need to do with the data? Analyze, find out what's happening in the business, right? So that's currently happening. And along with that, all the AI tools, right? Machine learning models. Why? Because we don't want any human intervention to analyze the data in the future. So that's the reason everywhere it is AI ML concepts, right? Big data, data science, these things. So if you see the shift, computers development, software developments, data storage, cloud, storage, and then analyze the data, and then a machine learning model to automatically analyze the data. Everything is like going step by step. And maybe in future, yeah, once all the AI models can drive your entire business, then yeah, obviously, you don't need any data analysts also. But I think this will take some time, maybe at least 5 to 6 years, right? So after the 5 to 6 years, can't we find any data analysts in the market? Yeah, maybe. There may not be any roles also. Then you get one more question, like after 5 to 6 years, whatever that I'm learning today, will it be like not useful? Definitely not useful. So what is that you need to do then? Yeah, as per the market, you will have to learn some other skill. Say simple, if you want to survive in the market, you will have to learn something new. Every now and then when the technology gets upgraded, you will have to choose any of those things and learn it. That's it. No other option. Python and Tableau, no, not by me, because we have like other trainers for Python and Tableau. But at this point, we are not doing Tableau because we see a lot of, buzz on this Power BI. So that's the reason we go with Power BI. Tableau also we can do, we have the trainers. But these days, we are not running any Tableau sessions. 4 years non-IT, there will be good opportunities of insurance. Okay, see, if someone got some experience, don't again apply like a fresher, okay? See, data is everywhere. Every team has the data. You just start implementing whatever you're learning here, start implementing in your office first. You have Excel. Power BI is okay to download because directly comes from Microsoft. You can request your IT team and start creating the reports, and don't again start your career as a fresher, okay, after getting like 4 year, 5 year experience, okay? Just that you need to present your profile after practicing, okay, that you are into some data related work only. Then if you can present like this, yes, if you have the right skill, that's it. And moreover, I'll tell you one thing, when it comes to the experience, Who is better? You tell me. A 10-year experienced guy knows nothing, but a fresher knows good programming. Let's assume, okay. Companies should hire who? 10 years guy or a fresher with a good skill? Definitely a fresher with a good skill. So don't worry about the experience, okay? So experience, if you showcase the right kind of a skill according to your experience, that yes, makes sense. But someone who got like 8-10 years experience, but not even able to write a VLOOKUP, and that person cannot be like an Excel developer, right? You get my point? So experience, yes. It's all about how you present your experience, okay, in your resume. Opportunities are there. It's on us how many we want to grab. Yeah.
Late to the class. Morning now. What is exactly
SQL, okay. It's, as I said, a structured query language. If you want to interact with the database and read the data for your reporting needs, okay, you need to write a query in the form of a language, because I cannot ask my database, give me the last 6 months data. But of course, it's there like a voice command enabled, database is there. It may understand it. But if I ask, okay, give me the last 6 months sales data, it may not understand that, right? So what is it I need to do? I need to communicate to my database, right? Communicate with my database in an understandable language. So that is SQL, structured query language. Then I write a query and it understands it and it gives me the data. Okay, structured query language.
Example, I work for a payroll firm.
Hmm.
So I'll have monthly payroll reports.
Right.
So from last 6 months payroll reports,
Hmm.
I want to know for how many employees we paid a bonus. With the highest bonus amount or the lowest bonus amount.
Right.
Can we write that?
Yeah, you're talking about SQL, right? Yes. What is the highest payroll amount that we paid? What is the total amount we paid to each and every employee? Yes, all these things can be passed in the form of SQL queries. But I see your requirements are more like your reporting requirements, something like you want to see the summary out of the data. So that means you can actually present that output in the form of a Power BI dashboard or Excel dashboard. But in the background, you can write SQL queries to get all these numbers. That's possible. Okay.
For third-party tools, we don't have permission from the
Correct. Yeah.
office.
Yes, absolutely correct. Let's say if you are
Mostly we
working.
deal with Excel. So with the help of Excel, how this SQL will help us.
Okay. Let's say if your data is already there in Excel and you want to create a report in Excel, then you don't need to work with SQL because you are not interacting with any databases there. Your data itself is there in your Excel. Directly you can create a report. But if you want to use this Excel data in Power BI, then you need to learn certain concepts that come from SQL to create a report in Power BI. Okay. So data is there in Excel. You want to create a report in Excel. So no need to worry. No need to worry about SQL because everything is done in Excel itself. Right. But Power BI, if you want to go with, then SQL concepts are needed again. Yeah. Okay. So the video will be uploaded shortly. Okay. Material will be shared on the Google Drive. Reach out to the front office. Let me share the numbers. You can reach out to either of the numbers, 8686-836-999. This number you can contact. 2971-7411. Yeah, you can reach out to this number also. Right? Perfect then. So that's all for today from my side, and shortly you all will get a call and yeah, so the video will be shared and the material will be shared. Please download and please be ready for the sessions, right? We'll do the installation in our next session. SQL Server installation and Power BI installation. Done? Okay, great then. So thanks everyone for attending.
So what if
Macros and SQL. Okay, macros is a programming language to automate your MS Office products. Okay. SQL is a structured query language to interact with the database. Both of them are two different things. One is for the automations and one is for the data extraction we use. Okay, and interesting thing is that you can write SQL queries in macros. Because sometimes we write macros to interact with SQL Server and read the data directly from there. Okay, so two different ways.
These days, macros are not using
not exactly. I'll tell you the reason also. Python, most of the people are learning Python these days. Python has the same kind of capabilities, like better capabilities than macros. You can automate your Excel requirements using Python also. But macros VBA language is an integrated language inside MS Office. Okay, you can directly write the code. But Python is something like a third-party tool. From there you can trigger application, Excel application, and then you can open it. You can do whatever you want to do, right? From Python also you can do it. So as anyways, people are learning Python. I mean, less dependency on VBA these days. But there are VBA openings as well. I mean, in the next week, our students got like 5 students got interviews on VBA only. But if you learn VBA, you can play with Excel the way you want. I mean, I enjoy working with VBA. Yeah. Okay, then. So great. Thanks, everyone. And offline participants, I appreciate your effort coming in this heavy rain here. And online, yeah, I'll see you all in our next session. Please practice and be ready. All right. And any questions, any information that is needed, I told you the batch number B00714. Reach out to the front office for additional information and to get the material and the video access. Great. So I'll see you. Thanks, everyone. Then. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.